My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. Dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. We fly that flow, thread that gap. No time to nap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control, bounce that wall, we fly it all, we fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split, it's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.
Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti, and I've got half an Oreo cookie in my face hole. Ay, ay, ay. That's better. I haven't said ay, ay, ay in a long time. Welcome to Financial Ruins Friday. We're going to jump onto WeBleed and do an order. And... oh, there it goes. And when I do that, I like to... I don't always do this, but sometimes I'll go through the entire site and find that one secret thing buried in the website that either I absolutely needed desperately or I didn't know that I needed. And so we're going to do that. What you were just watching is this little devil. Unplug it. This little guy. This is Baby Turtle Pro 2-inch with a 25-degree up tilt 04 light mount. Happy model 1103 11,000 kV motors with a custom single blade removal here. I need to actually deal with this. This happened on the... I flew 4 batteries with this today. On the end of the... Towards the end of the 4th battery, this happened. It flew back like this, though. It was obviously shaking all over the place, but it did fly back, and the motors were not, like, boiling hot. I was pretty impressed. GemFan 2023S propellers. I don't even know what AIO is on here. Doesn't matter. It's one of the HD AIOs. 2S 300 mAh batteries. It gets right on 3 minutes of runtime with those batteries. And it flies awesome. But, as some of you may have noticed, or maybe not, because YouTube's compression is brutal, there's some wobbles and some bobbles and some jiggles and some wiggles and some... I can't think of 2 other words that rhyme. Jesus, this propeller is really on here. And so I got to figure that out. It might be a little bit overtuned, or there could be a motor that's banged up. Whoa! This propeller is not coming off. Holy crap. Yeah, I gotta get that figured out. I have the analog one that's been totally fine, but it's hard to tell with analog. Like, analog is so bad that it could be wiggling around and you might not be able to see it. So it's super hard to tell. But yeah, this needs a little bit of love. I need to... Well, let me show you guys. If you've got wiggly... So we don't have jello. We don't have a jello situation with this. We just have a little bit of instability when you center the sticks and you just fly dead straight. And, like, to some extent, you could argue that that with a micro, you're never going to get that out. And you'd be wrong, but not, like, that wrong. Like, micros are really tough to get absolutely smooth. The amount of RPM that these little motors have to turn is just outrageous. And yeah, it's tough to get, and also, like, they're so lightweight that they move all over the place, right? When you strap a 120-something gram GoPro on a build, the weight of the GoPro helps quite a bit, right? Like, the weight of the GoPro... Fuck, dude. The weight of the GoPro damps everything out and gives you, like, a nice smooth flight. This thing is like 60 grams all up or something like that. Maybe like 70 grams all up. And so it's going to move all over the place. But it wasn't a windy day today. And that's where I kind of draw the line. If it's a windless day, and you have a half decent set of motors and propellers, and the tune is not a mess, you should be okay. You should be able to get a micro to behave and give you smooth flight footage. I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to twist this propeller a little bit on this motor to get it off. The reason why I hate to do that is that when the motor shaft on these itty-bitty little motors, the motor shaft is laser welded underneath this C-clip. Not all motors have this top C-clip. In here, in between the motor shaft and the bell, it's laser welded. And if you have a propeller that's stuck on this motor shaft and you grab the bell and you start twisting on that propeller, you can very easily break the laser welds between the bell and the motor shaft, and then your bell falls off. The C-clip, some motors that have C-clips, the C-clip is great for keeping the motor and the bell from escaping up and down, but it doesn't do anything for the rotation. And once that laser weld is broken, the magnets and the motor bell is going to turn, and the motor shaft is not, and that motor is ruined. So you got to be really careful. These itty bitty motors, You don't want to put any twisting force between the motor shaft and the bell. You also don't want to pull on the motor shaft and the bell. You don't want to put any stress on that laser weld between the motor shaft and the bell. One of the things that's great about the Propodial is that you loop it, and I ship these out. Every single giveaway win, every single order on Etsy, I ship out a free Propodial with everything. And so what you do with this guy is you put it under the propeller like this, and then you loop it up and over so that you can get a grip on the propeller. And then what you do is you grab the arm, okay? And so you grab the arm, and then you just pull up on the propeller, right? You can grab the bell, but that's going to put some stress on that motor shaft, so don't. Grab the arm, and then pull. Oh my god, dude. Pull on the prop. It becomes harder when you lose a blade because it's kind of pulling off center a little bit. Pull on the propeller itself. And so what you're doing there, you're holding the arm, and the arm is bolted to the stator base here. And on the bottom of the motor shaft, there's a C-clip. And so you're basically holding on to the stator base by holding onto the arm, and then you're pulling on the propeller, which is stuck to the motor shaft. And so what you're doing is you're pulling up on the motor shaft, and that pulls on this C-clip. It doesn't put any energy into the motor bell itself. You're just pulling on the motor shaft, which is pulling on this C-clip, which is pulling on the stator base, which is pulling on the arm that you're holding on to. Cool. That is one of the safest ways to remove a propeller. But in this case, I can't get it. And so I'm going to have to grab the propeller and the bell and just rotate them a little bit just to get the prop to slip up and off. I hate to have to do that, but if I can't get the propeller off, I have to throw the motor and the prop in the trash. And so there we go. Don't do that unless you absolutely have to, is the long and short of it. But when a propeller breaks like this because you're out flying in the cold and you smack into the concrete, you know, when the Propodial wraps around this, it's not pulling quite evenly. You know what I'm saying? It's pulling the prop a little bit sort of sideways because it's grabbing more on these two propellers that are here. And then when the prop is getting pulled sideways, it's like got all that friction against the motor shaft, right? You got to pull it straight up and out. So yeah, there you go. Free tip for you. Propodials, yo. That's the plan for tonight, my friends. In the chat, McShaky was first. FizzPV, Levster, Matthew Wegner, Nyafu, Eco, Skull 901, Uriel, Frank Nicholas, Unanticipated Bill, Nick Henson, Orkshire, Sporny, Swiss Links, Mike K, Stefan, Uke, Chuck P, Lewis, Mike K again, Uke again, Unanticipated Bill again, FizzPV, GankleFPV, Prowen, Ricardo Penders. What's up, people? Cronut. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'm feeling like shit today, but we're hanging out, so it's all good. I'll survive. Everything's fine. Yeah, some days just suck, man. CiottiFPV.com, just for no reason. Like, some days you just wake up and it's just a big old shit sandwich that you gotta take a bite of. Welcome to mental illness. CiottiFPV.com if you like these live streams and would like to see them continue through 2026. I do need your help. It is very, very difficult to do this. So if you get, 20 cents per live stream of value out of the knowledge that I drop on you, please do hook a brother up and join my Patreon. That's the absolute best way that you can support me. It'll cost you as little as $3 a month, which is 10 cents a day. But there's also a $5 a month tier and up, and those will get you entered into giveaways, This coming Monday is our January giveaway. You don't have to be on the live stream. You just have to be on the $5 or up tier, and you'll get automatically entered. And you might win 50, 60 bucks worth of stuff. That's what each of the giveaways is typically worth. So yeah, join the Patreon. If you're on the $3 tier, you may as well spend an extra $2 and have a chance to win 50 bucks worth of stuff, right? So do it. Lots of ways you can support me. When I do this WeBleed order today, I'm going to use my own WeBleed affiliate link. If you ever order from WeBleed or any of the other websites that I have affiliate links to, which are Amazon, GetFPV, PyroDrone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, WeBleedFPV, BetaFPV, FPV Cycle, Hisingi, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HC0, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, or AliExpress. All you got to do is use my affiliate link, and I will get a small percentage of your order total. Just replace your bookmarks with someone's affiliate links. If you don't use bookmarks and you just go up here to the URL bar, and when you want to go to Amazon, you type AMA, and then it automatically suggests the rest of it, so you just hit enter. Do this. Come in here, hit AMA for Amazon, and then off on the right side, there'll be an option to remove the suggestion. Remove your current Amazon.com suggestion and hit my affiliate link a few times in a row. Just bang, 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 bang. And then your browser will think when you type AMA, you actually want to go to my affiliate link. Do one of these websites per live stream, right? Like do Race Day Quads today. Go up here and let's see. So I'm now using Brave rather than Chrome. And so yeah, when I type race, it suggests regular old Race Day Quads. This is perfect. Watch this, right? So my affiliate link is nowhere to be found here. I type race, it thinks I want to go to racedayquads.com. Nope. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to hit that. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit it again. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit it again. And now let's see. I'm going to type race again. Nope, still not there. Let's do this. Here's the better way of doing it. Grab my website in a tab like this. Hold Command, or maybe Option on PC, I'm not sure. Whatever opens a website in a new tab. And just click my affiliate link. A whole bunch of times. Right? Now my browser has gone to this affiliate link a dozen or so times. And so when I open a new tab and I type Race Day Quads, it's still going to suggest racedayquads.com. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to remove the suggestion. And now let's try it again. Hey, there it is. And now the top tab is racedayquads.com/?AFF equals 62. And that's it. That is my affiliate link. That will take you to Race Day Quads homepage. But in your shopping cart will be my affiliate info. So if you buy something from Race Day Quads now within the next week or so, I'll be your affiliate, and I'll get a tiny little percent of your total order. That's how you do it, yo. Do a website a day, and before you know it, you'll be supporting people. If you don't support me, support somebody else. But we need your help. It's tough to do this on YouTube. You know, small creators have a lot of value to give, but a lot of us don't. You know, we came into the game late, or we don't do things the successful way. You know, personally, I kind of focus a lot on trying to help everybody get stuff that flies really good, rather than just reviewing brand new products and doing all the things that the more successful YouTubers kind of do. And there's a lot of value in that, but you know, we need your help. Cool. Help us out. Do the things. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, type CiottiFPV. I will see it. It'll light up in orange, and I'll read your comment. Uriel says, work in progress. Mike K says, evening, everyone. FizzPV says, have felt the same lately. LOL just ordered a sheet of carbon to play with. Nice. Uriel says, don't buy the VCI motors. I got you. Very cool. Like our post office jammed up because Christmas. Yeah. Prowan says, I posted a pic of my baby turtle in the Discord. Motor's coming tomorrow. What are your thoughts? 03 lens mod. The 03 lens mod is interesting. It's going to be a lot heavier. It's going to be a lot bigger and harder to fit. It is going to get you a little bit more field of view. So if you're, if you don't like the field of view, if you get an 04 light and you put it all together and the field of view is too narrow for you, then yeah, the lens mod setup from Flywoo is probably a really good choice. I would not recommend that you do it yourself. That's just a recipe for disaster. If you want evidence of that, go watch Joshua Bardwell's stream on it. He destroys a perfectly good 04 camera, 04 light camera, trying to do the lens mod himself. And he's Joshua Bardwell, right? Like, he knows what he's doing. Even if you don't accidentally break the little connector off, which is super easy to do, you can, you're going to get something on the sensor. You're at least going to get dust on the sensor. You're going to not glue it back together in a way that it holds up. There's a million things that can go wrong with that. You know, you're talking about a camera and VTX that are over $100. It's not a, you know, this is not like a $20 camera. This is something that has value. And so when you destroy it, it's going to suck really bad. So yeah, if you can't get over the narrower field of view of 04 light, the Flywoo setup seems really, really good, but it has some drawbacks, right? I'm fine. The 04 light, less field of view means that, like, I don't have to get as close to stuff, and it's extremely linear, which I really like. There's like no fisheye whatsoever. So using it like to chase the little RC drift cars, it looks phenomenal. It's like, it looks like I'm flying around with a miniature medium format camera with like a 50mm lens that's got just no bullshit pin cushion, no weird wide angle roundedness. It's great. I'm totally fine with the 04 light field of view. But if you're not, there's some solutions. But I wouldn't recommend don't just see other people trashing on the 04 light field of view and be like, oh, I'm definitely gonna hate it too. Like, just buy it and just put it together and fly it, and you might be totally fine. And if you're totally fine, you're gonna save money, you're gonna save time, you're gonna save weight, right? Is it a little bit different? Sure. Is every single different quad that you build and fly different? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. The 04 light's fine with me. I'll save the weight and not go through all the hassle. But that's just me. No right or wrong answers. Prowan14 says, is there a difference between the Pro Turtle and the Baby Turtle HD frame? I'm so glad you asked that. Somebody was, it might have been you, somebody was asking me that a day or two ago. I don't remember where. But I said, hey, can you ask me that on a live stream? Because it is confusing, and I would love to. I've done this once before, but I would love to revisit that and go through their website really quick to talk about the different frames. So if you Google search sub 250G FPV baby turtle frame, if you search for something close to this, you'll find this link to CNC Madness here. And so we're gonna go to sub 250G FPV, who is a guy on Instagram. And these are all of his frames. 3.5 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. I'm not all that interested in those because they have a solid base plate. And for me, once a frame gets to be like 3 inches or bigger, it should have removable arms. That's just me. I'm super spoiled. But yeah, I'm not super interested in these. Also, these are very, very, very lightweight 3-inch, 3.5-inch, 4-inch rigs. I don't really like that. I prefer a 3-inch build to be 250 or 260 grams all up. 3.5-inch build to be like 300 to 320 grams all up. 4-inch builds I'm not really interested in. But yeah, these are setups that are going to be very, very lightweight. These are going to fly like toothpicks. They're not going to have any real throw. You know, you're going to come off the throttle and they're going to slow down very quickly because they got big propellers and not a lot of all-up weight. That is something that a lot of people love. I personally don't. It's just you know, personal preference there. But 4.5-inch, 3.5-inch, 3.5-inch, and now here we go. Baby Turtle V6.1, X Turtle V6.1, HD Baby Turtle, X Turtle replacement parts, Baby Turtle V7, some more replacement parts here, and then we've got the Bug, which is basically a toothpick style build. We've got the Pro Turtle 2-inch, and then the 45mm Bando Turtle. Don't do the 45mm stuff. If you want the Bando Turtle, do the 2-inch Bando Turtle. And then we've got the Pro Turtle 3-inch, a little bit too big. Pro Turtle 2.5-inch. I am actually really interested in this. Sub 250G said he was going to send me one of these. And then there's also the 2.5-inch Bando Turtle. And then we've got some replacement parts. Pro Turtle 2-inch, 2.5-inch replacement parts. Replacement parts. So, bunch of different frames that all sound pretty similar. First and foremost, I have built very similar itty-bitty open-propped setups with 1.2-inch propellers, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and now 2-inch. 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8 doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you're going to build something open prop, it's to go faster than something with prop guards. Okay? 1.2, 1.4, 1.6 inch propellers on something open propped, it's not going to go fast. It just isn't. The propellers are too small, it doesn't make enough thrust, and they're inefficient. And so it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, if you're just building it to build something different and to see what it's like, more power to you. But I can tell you that it's going to be something that you probably put together and then don't end up flying a lot. And it'll just kind of sit on the shelf and it'll be, you know, whatever. You'll eventually pull it apart and swap it up. With these Baby Turtle frames, like, they're all very similar. And so, like, sure, you could get a bunch of the different sized frames and then just take the central stack and swap it between one and the other. Change a different set of motors on each one because a different size, different weight propellers are going to require bigger or smaller motors. And you could see for yourself what all the different size. Although I don't think I saw any 1.2 or 1.4s in here, but you could find them. You could certainly find the smaller open prop frames, but I'm telling you, they just don't make any sense. If you're going to build something that small, put it in a whoop frame. You can now bump into shit. You can almost always turtle mode back over in the grass and take back off. You can fly them inside. You can fly them around people. It's the guards slow them down so that a smaller space feels like a bigger space, so you can shoot gaps way more accurately. There are so many benefits to the smaller props being in a proper tiny whoop frame. If you want to go faster, that's when you build an open prop frame, and you should start, in my opinion, at 2-inch propellers. At 2-inch, it starts to actually have a little bit of efficiency, and it actually starts to boogie and move quickly outside. Also, you're starting to get into motors that maybe might just barely have enough power to push the single blade of grass out of the way that's keeping the motor from spinning so that you can flip it over in the grass and take back off, so that you're not constantly taking the walk of shame. That is one of the most annoying things about these open prop tiny little rigs, is that, like, even if you land in the grass, you're screwed. You got to walk out there and get it. It's super annoying. The Whoops fix that by having the guards. You land in the grass, the prop guard pushes the blades of grass out of the way, you take back off. But these open prop setups with the smaller propellers, they just don't do anything well, right? Like, what's your reasoning behind getting rid of the prop guards? You want to go faster, or you don't want to get pushed around by the wind as much. Well, I got news for you. If you're on a 1.2-inch prop, a super light version of this, it's going to get the hell beaten out of it by the wind, and it's not going to go very fast. So just don't do it. It doesn't really make any sense. It only makes sense from the perspective of, I want to build the smallest possible open prop rig that I can. I don't care how it flies. I don't care how it performs. I just want to do it. And, like, more power to you. You're going to fly it. You're going to experience exactly what I'm telling you. And then if for some weird reason you enjoy that, cool. You probably won't, but maybe you will. And awesome. More power to you. But most of you won't. Most of you are going to be best off starting at 2-inch for these open prop rigs. Here's the other big reason. There are very few to no propellers in 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, or 1.8-inch diameter that are going to perform all that well and be durable on a build like this. When we have no guard around the propellers, every single crash hammers on the propeller. And these GemFan 2023 S's are some of the only small propellers that are durable enough for that kind of abuse. In the 1.8-inch world, the GemFan props are kind of out of balance and pretty heavy. And then your only other option is the HQ ultralight props, which we know are super fragile. In 1.6-inch prop, we've got the GemFan 1610 biblades, which are really nice and durable, but they're only a biblade. The problem with a biblade on a build like this is that every time you crash, the biblade propeller is going to rotate out of the way, and then the motor bell is going to smash into the concrete, and it's going to bend the motor shaft, and now that motor is ruined. You're going to go through tons of motors. With 1.4-inch props, same kind of deal. The HQ ultralight is the good propeller there, but the HQ ultralights are super fragile. They blow up at the hub all the time. And then 1.2-inch open prop rig, it just makes no sense. It goes like 4 miles an hour. It just doesn't make any sense. There may very well be a propeller there that is durable, but you just don't want it. It's not going to be a fun thing to fly. And so that's another reason, is prop selection, that you want to start with 2-inch on these builds. But to be honest, the big thing is that this just flies good. This is fun to fly outside. It has enough power. It has enough speed where you can go bombing down the street. You can throw it up over one single tree off throttle. You can do dives. You can do like stalls. You can do all the fun stuff. There's a bunch of different motors that work. These Happy Model 1103, 11,000s are great. There's an RC and Power 1003, 10,000 that's going to be great. You can even drop down, if it's really lightweight, like my analog one, you can drop down to a 1002 or an 1102. Very, very, very fun. But start with 2-inch. Cool? Now, on Sub 250G's CNC Madness page, we got a couple different options. We've got the Baby Turtle V6.1, but then we've also got the Baby Turtle V7. Might as well go with the newer one, right? Baby Turtle V7 is my analog setup, and it is pretty specifically designed for either analog or HD0. These front standoffs here, I don't think they're wide enough for the 04 light camera. Even if they were, there's no 3D print file for it. The central canopy and the top plate here where you put the battery is also a little bit shorter. And you're really only going to be able to fit a 2S 300 or 350 mAh battery on here. All right? So the Baby Turtle V7 is kind of specifically for super lightweight, HD0, or analog. Mine has a Happy Model X12 in there. It's super fun. It's on 1002 14,000 kV motors. It's an absolute blast. I love this thing. The one that you're looking at here has an HD0 board. It comes with 15 millimeter tall standoffs, which are just enough for you to squeeze an AIO and then a VTX on top. It's a little bit of a challenging build, but it's important to keep the weight down, keep the deck height down, and you can do it. You'll be able to get that done. Baby Turtle V7 is awesome. Really, really cool frame. It's just big enough, not too big. Seems like it's pretty strong. There's some good motor options. These are the GemFan 2015s. These are also durable, but again, the only problem is that they're a bi-blade, so you're not going to want to crash them super hard. If you want to build one of these and crash the shit out of it, you're going to want the GemFan 2023S propellers, tri-blades. So that's the Baby Turtle V7. Analog HD0, nice and small, short top plate, 2S 300 mAh or 350 mAh battery only. A 450 mAh battery won't fit on here. The 3D print files, which are linked somewhere in here. Here they are. 3D print files are linked over on Thingiverse, are awesome. Yeah. Really, really, really nice frame. Really good support for the frame. Great 3D print files. Fun little build. Baby Turtle V6.1 is just the older version of it, which I don't really know anything about. I didn't buy this one. It looks like the top plate is maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, get the V7. I like the what I can tell you is that the 3D print files for the V6.1 work on the V7. So, yeah. There might be like a specific camera that you want. Oh, I know what the difference is. The V7 is for HD0. Because when you look at the 3D print files for the V7, they're all HD0 print files. The V6.1, the 3D print files are for all of the different cameras. There's like a whole bunch of like Caddx Ant, and just name an analog camera. There's a 3D print file for it, but it's only in the V6.1. I bet you the standoffs are shorter on the V6.1 too, aren't they? Let me see. Is it in the frame specs? Oh, look at that. It's selectable. It's selectable. Frames, yeah, on some of these, the frame size is selectable. 1.6, 45 millimeter, which is 1.8, or 2.0. Always get these in 2.0. That's what you want. You want 2-inch props on these. Included parts, here we go. No, they're 15 millimeter standoffs. Okay, so it's the same standoff height, 15 millimeters. But yeah, the V6.1, version 1 through 6.1, I'll bet you were all analog, all specifically for analog. And then when HD0 popped up, and they wanted to do that one, they made the V7. But the V7 frame, the front standoffs are the same distance apart, and the frame is very similar, so yeah. Kind of doesn't matter which one you get, but hey, get the V7. I also do, I like the top plate design of the V7. It's got this little like rectangle up front here, which gives you a nice little spot to put a little square of grip to hold the battery down. The V6.1 and the Pro, they don't have that little rectangle in the front, and that makes getting grip to stick a little bit more difficult. So yeah. Get the 7 for analog, in my opinion. Okay, so the X Turtle here is just not squished X. All of these are squished X geometry, which takes the motors on the side here and just squishes them together like this. So the motors are wider than they are long front to rear, which is totally fine. Now that Betaflight is as good as it is, there's not a huge argument for having a true X or even a stretched X frame. Yes, there is a mechanical advantage on the pitch axis, but on a build like this, we don't really have much extra weight on the pitch axis anyway. So the X Turtle is cool if you're obsessed with having more mechanical torque on the pitch axis. Sure, the X Turtle will give that to you, but it's bigger. The motors are bigger. The motors are pushed farther out in order to achieve that X configuration, and so yeah, the arms are going to be a little bit weaker. The frame's going to be a little bit heavier. There you go. I'll stick with the regular squished X stuff, which is all the rest. So that's the Baby Turtle V6.1, V7, and the X Turtle. Next page here, we've got the Bug. That's a toothpick. Personally, I'm not very interested in that. I don't like the camera being centralized. On a rig like this, you might as well push the camera farther forward if you're doing a carbon fiber frame, right? Now we're into the Pro Turtle 2-inch. This is what I built the 04 light setup with, and it seems like it's basically meant for that. You can see in the picture, it's got an 04 light between the standoffs here. The canopy is a little bit longer, so I think you can just barely squeeze a 450 mAh 2S battery on here. Boy, just barely. I have a chunk of grip up front here, and this little 3D printed battery holder thing is pretty tight, so I haven't been able to get it. But if you were determined to run a 450 mAh 2S on a Pro Turtle, you'd be able to figure that out. You'd probably just not run this piece of grip here, but I'm getting 3 minutes of runtime from the 300 mAh batteries, so I'm not going to run these 450s on it. So I don't really care to do that, but you could certainly get that figured out. The top plate and the canopy are significantly longer, and they will absolutely clear the 450 mAh battery. And so there's the difference there. Hopefully you can kind of see that. That's hard to see. There you go. There's the difference in the top plate. Basically, the analog HD01 2S 300 or 350 mAh batteries, the Pro Turtle 300 mAh 350 or 380 or 420 or 450 mAh batteries. Again, get it set up for 2-inch. Although I don't think they don't give you an option. It is set up for 2-inch. In my opinion, get the 2.5 millimeter thick carbon fiber here for an extra $1. It's plenty lightweight, and you want that extra strength and stiffness. And then I got the purple carbon fiber, and it looks super awesome. If you want slightly stronger carbon fiber, the T700 is technically the strongest carbon fiber that you can get. But get colored carbon fiber, man. It's cool. And these things are fun. So that's the Pro Turtle. It's set up for the 04 light. If we look at the pretty 3D print files, is there a specific Pro Turtle? Here we go. Pro Turtle frames. And then what are the files? Yeah, so these are all camera mounts for the 04 light. Just at different up tilts, 17.5 degrees, 22.5, 25, 27.5. And then the rest of these print files are battery holder and then whip antenna files. These files are great. They're nice and small, nice and lightweight, very well designed. So there you go. Pro Turtle is for the 04 light. I think there's one more, right? The Bando Turtle. Here's the 45mm Bando Turtle. Don't do that. There are no good 45mm propellers that are going to actually hold up to any sort of Bando crashing. So don't do this one, in my opinion. Go up to the 2-inch Bando Turtle. Also, I think the Bando Turtle is going to be a little bit heavier because they're using a chunk of TPU up here to hold the camera rather than a little bit of carbon fiber. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Bando Turtle. I don't think that it doesn't look like it pushes the camera any farther forward, and I don't like the idea of having the camera in TPU. I would so much rather have the camera nicely protected inside of carbon fiber, right? Like if I hammer something a little bit off center here, it's going to hit the standoffs in the carbon fiber rather than hitting a giant chunk of TPU that's going to flex. You know, these 04 light cameras are not the most durable things in the world. I could totally be wrong about this, for the record. I did not buy one of the Bando Turtles. I have not built one of the Bando Turtles. I'm just going by sort of what it looks like here. To be honest, I think you'll be fine either way. The other thing about the Bando Turtle is that it makes the top plate even shorter. So it's going to make putting a bigger battery on here pretty impossible. You're almost certainly not going to be able to put any more than a 300 mAh battery on top here. Whereas like the Pro Turtle, it looks like it'll fit up to a 450. And so, yeah, you're going to limit your battery size a little bit more here. Cool. So that's the Bando Turtle. Not my thing, but some people actually really like it. I would love to know why. I would love to know what people like about the Bando Turtle better than the regular one. I just can't quite figure it out. Here's a 380 on there, and you can kind of see like the battery is all up on top of these front standoffs here. I like the battery to be a little bit behind those standoffs, the front standoff screws, so that if I nose into something, the battery doesn't go shooting off the front. I forgot to change the scene here. You can see that there's the front standoff screws, and the battery is up on top of them. I personally just don't like that. I like those front screws to be like a little bit of a lip that the battery won't eject off of. But again, that's just me. If you've got some grip under here on this top plate, that battery shouldn't go anywhere, right? If you line this top plate with grip, you should be totally fine. The problem with that is this top plate is so skinny that grip is going to have a hard time sticking to it. You could certainly get it to work. You could also just run like a bead of E6000. E6000 is kind of rubbery once it cures, and that would probably work fine. But yeah, I like the Pro Turtle. I'm a big fan of the Pro Turtle. So that's the Bando Turtle. And then we've got like the Pro Turtle 3-inch. In my opinion, that's a little bit too big of a propeller unless you're looking for like lots of runtime. Pro Turtle 2.5-inch is actually kind of interesting. 04 light on board, loads of 2.5-inch propeller options and motor options. The only thing that scares me about this is that it's not a removable arm. This is a solid base plate, and now the arms are longer, the battery is going to be bigger, the motors are going to be bigger, and I have a feeling that we're going to start to get into issues where we're breaking arms. It looks like you have to choose either 3-bolt 6.6 millimeter motor mounting or 4-bolt 9x9 motor mounting. The rest of these smaller guys, it's just 3-bolt motor mounting, which is totally fine. There's loads of motors that are in that 3-screw 6.6 millimeter orientation. So you're going to have to pick what kind of motors you're going to run, and then it looks like for the thickness, they have jumped the thickness up. That's really good. 2 millimeters, 2.5, or 3. I would definitely recommend 3 millimeter carbon fiber for this so that you're not breaking arms all over the place. And then it looks like there's the same carbon fiber color option. So interesting. If I don't know if I'll buy one of these. Also, like in terms of battery voltage, these 2-inch setups you can absolutely run on 1S. You're going to be pushing the limits of 1S for sure. They're better on 2S. This guy, 2.5-inch, 2S. Like, don't even try 1S. You're gonna really just, it's not gonna be great. It's gonna be another one of these like, look what I did. I built something totally unique. And then you fly it and it flies like ass. Don't do that. Build something good first, unique second. I think that's pretty much all of them, isn't it? 2.5-inch Bando Turtle. There you go. Again, I don't like the idea of having the camera up front just in this TPU thing. And also, it's going to make, in my opinion, the battery mounting a little bit more challenging. So, for me, the pros are the way to go. You know what I will say? At the front, I don't think it's like that on the 2-inch. No, it's not. The 2-inch, the frame looks exactly the same on the front arms here. On the 2.5-inch, what is interesting, Bando Turtle, they've got these little reinforcement pieces here for the front arms. So that's kind of nice. This little piece of carbon will make these front arms a little bit stronger. So if you're going to do a 2.5-inch sub 250G frame, you know what you should do is buy the Pro and the Bando. Buy both the Pro and the Bando Turtle. These frames are really inexpensive, $21, right? So just buy them both, and I think build and fly the Pro first. Build the Pro Turtle 2.5-inch first, and then if you break the front arms, swap it over to the Bando Turtle. You know, it's a solid base plate. So if you break an arm, you're going to have to completely tear it apart anyway. That's a perfect excuse to swap it to the other frame and see if the Bando Turtle 2.5-inch frame holds up a little bit better. And that's it. That's the whole sub 250G FPV 2-inch and 2.5-inch frame lineup. Buy one of them. Tell him in the notes that I sent you. And tell him that you want him to send me the 2.5-inch frames. I'll totally do a 2.5-inch Bando Turtle and/or Pro Turtle build, because I'm super curious how it would be different to the 2-inch build. What I would probably do is just pull it right out of this Pro Turtle 2-inch frame and just drop it right in there to see how it is, because I'm pretty sure that this Flywoo AIO that I built this thing with has enough, the FETs are easily big enough for a 1303 motor, maybe would be a good choice, or maybe like a 1202.5, or maybe even like a 1304. But I think 1303 would be where I would go. And I just happen to have a set of AMAX 1303 7500 kV Performante motors sitting here, so I would kind of love to use those finally. I've had these for like 5 years. I got these forever ago on clearance from somewhere. Speaking of clearance, let's get our asses over to WeBleed's website and start checking stuff out, because I'm doing a little order for some of the new stuff that they've got, and I figured, you know, I'll let you guys know what I think about a lot of their product. But actually, let me get caught up on chat first, real quick. Uriel says a happy gift is coming because you deserve it. Thank you so much, Uriel. I saw an email from you. I am super behind on my emails, but I am gonna get caught up this weekend into next week. Yuke says, I've been crashing the shit out of those 1.5mm shaft 0702s, still sounding super clean. Yeah, man. 1.5mm shaft on a tiny whoop motor makes them pretty much indestructible. Uriel says, I got you on the Crazy G 473. How so? What do you got? Oh, you're sending me one. Nice. Love that. Thank you, Uriel. Very, very, very cool. Yeah. Hey, also, speaking of that, Frank Nicholas sent an X14, so we're going to be checking out the X14 this coming week. Lots of fun stuff going on. I think Whoop Wednesday is when we're going to do the battery smackdown. Lava V2 versus NX69 versus WeBleed 300 mAh. I've decided to put WeBleed into the mix because I have a set of WeBleed batteries that I've only charged and discharged a couple times. So we might as well get a normal BT 2.0 300 mAh battery in the fight here. On my 12 hours of Christmas stream, we tested the Lava V2s versus the NX69s. But I want to do a full stream about it, and we might as well get the WeBleed batteries in there, as if nothing else, just like a really nice control. I have a feeling that the WeBleed batteries are going to perform exactly like the NX69s, because up until these Lava V2s, in my opinion, not a single folded cell 300 mAh battery with BT 2.0 has performed any different than any of the others. Which would make sense because they all kind of came out around the same time. This Lava V2 is brand new, and Beta FPV have sold tons of the Lava V1s, and maybe they learned something, and they adjusted the chemistry a little bit. Because in the 12-hour stream, we realized that, yes, the Lava V2s do perform a little bit better. They run a little bit longer. They turn a little bit higher RPM at full throttle. And so, yeah, that'll be fun. I think that's going to be on Wednesday. Yuke says, did you see Beta FPV's new stuff? New micro cam and Matrix AIO. The Matrix AIO is on its way to me. I didn't see the new camera, though. I also didn't realize that they'd announced I'd been alluding to the new Matrix AIO recently, saying like Beta FPV is sending me something cool. That's one of the things that they're sending me. I didn't realize they had a new camera, though. That's interesting. The CO3 is so damn good. I don't know how a new camera is going to be any better, but Gusto says Mobula 6 25,000 kV motors, Beta FPV ultralight frame, ASI tri-blades, perfect combo. ASI tri-blades are too fragile for me personally. I don't know what you mean by Beta FPV ultralight frame. Beta FPV's brand new frame is called the Meteor 65 Air V2, and that frame is okay. The ducts are not tall enough for me, and so the any builds with them end up kind of sliding around, which is a little rough for flying inside. Great fun for flying outside, but for me, the Newbie Drone Cockroach 65 V3 frame is the best of the current frames. The ducts are nice and tall, and that slows it down inside, and it also makes it more accurate. When you turn, it just turns with you. It doesn't want to slide around nearly as much. I did a live stream about that a couple of months back. And then the Mobula 6 25,000 kV motors, little too low of a kV for me personally, but I'm a lunatic. And so for most people, those motors are going to be plenty of power. Yuke says, scratch that, I can't find the Beta FPV stuff I just told you about. Oh well. Sporny says, is the Emax Tiny Hawk 3 still a viable option to buy? I might need a good 2.5-inch frame if the Caillou Mini doesn't restock soon. Emax Tiny Hawk 3, it's okay. It's not great. Get a sub 250G frame. You'll, yeah. The thing about the Emax Tiny Hawk is the frame is designed around an AIO that is specific. And so I'm not sure if that frame is going to be like, you know, you're a little bit, they use an AIO that's a weird shape. I would have to assume that they're using regular 25.5 by 25.5 mounting. So you can probably get the Tiny Hawk 3 frame to work with other AIOs, but like why why take the risk? Just get another. The sub 250G frames are awesome. Get one of those. They'll be lighter. Breezy Does It says, do you have any favorite AIOs for these smaller end HD builds, 2 to 3 inch ultralights? I see a good bit of F405 HD out there. Not really. All like the Happy Model AIOs are like a really good option. They just kind of work. The Flywoo AIOs seem to be fine as well, but they're a little bit expensive, but they're white, so they're cool looking. I stick with Happy Model stuff. I've been just blown away by Happy Model electronics over the last like 5 years. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Stick with those. Some of the beta FPV stuff is okay. Some of it is tough, and I don't think there's an HD beta FPV AIO at the moment that'll do like 2S or 3S. So yeah, stick with Happy Model. Papa Perk says, I have a Baby Turtle 45mm AIO 5 build that I cannot tune. Any tips? Not just like one size fits all. Tuning is unfortunately not like that. Tuning is like a half an hour one-on-one phone call a lot of times. But as just like a blanket statement, check your propellers, make sure they're not out of balance. Check your motors. Make sure your motor shafts aren't bent up. Those are the two things that cause the most tuning issues. Don't assume that just because you bought the propeller, it's balanced. There are lots of propellers out there that are out of balance right out of the bag. And so you got to go with a propeller that is a known quantity. If you've got a Baby Turtle 45mm, that's a 1.8-inch prop. The Gemfan 1.8-inch propellers are out of balance right out of the bag. The HQ ultralight props are properly balanced. Unfortunately, they're very fragile, so you're not going to be able to really crash that build, but at least run the HQ ultralight props so that you have a chance at getting a half-decent tune. Yeah, that's the best that I can do as like a blanket recommendation for, I'm having a hard time tuning. Tuning is a relatively in-depth kind of conversation when there are problems, like when you put it together and there's no issues and the motors are well balanced and not beat up and the propellers are well balanced out of the bag. Tuning is just like moving the master multiplier around or a couple of sliders, and it's super easy. But when you do a build and it's being unruly, that becomes a whole conversation. It's something that I do. I teach tuning through my Fiverr, which is linked over on CiottiFPV.com. You can book a half an hour or an hour long session, $40 or $60. But like I have to ask you 40 or 50 questions in order to have any chance of figuring out what's going on there, and there are questions about the specific build, and I even have to like have you sit there and like spin the motors up and like show me how things are mounted and whatnot. It takes time. Breezy Does It says, when talking 04 fittings for these drones you're talking about, how does the new wide angle lens come to play from Flywoo? Does it just not need the TPU then? No, I mean, that's going to be one of the hardest things about it, is that the mounting, nothing is set up to mount it, right? It's a brand new. Well, I think they use the mounting holes of the 04 Pro, but a lot of these smaller builds don't use mounting that big, right? They're sized for the tiny little light camera, and so that's going to be really difficult with those Flywoos, is finding a frame with a giant camera section for that giant camera housing that you're going to be putting it in. So yeah, that's going to be tough. And it's going to add a bunch of weight. Breezy Does It also says, is it worth going 3S on 2.5 to 3.5 inch builds compared to what 4S can offer at a similar weight? 4S is typically the go-to. 4S is absolutely the go-to on a 3.5 inch build On a 3-inch build, you could get away with 3S, but don't. On a 2.5-inch build, it is split between the two. What's nice about 4S is that it gives you way more motor options. And so just go with 4S. It's the right answer. It's going to make your life easier. And there's no real downside to it. Like, same kind of deal with 5-inch rigs. When you go from 4S to 6S, everything gets better. If you go from 6S to 8S, now there are some downsides. You've gone too far at that point. The equivalency there is the lunatics that build 3-inch rigs on 6S. You've gone too far. There are no benefits to 6S on a 3.5-inch or a 3-inch build. 4S is the max. 4S is the higher voltage. 3S will work, but it'll be like running 4S on a 5-inch rig. It'll have less efficiency, less power, less efficiency is the same thing as less runtime, less motor options. So yeah, once you get up to a 2.5-inch build, 4S is the go-to. And then, like, if that 2.5-inch build becomes a 3.5-inch build, you don't have to buy new, like, you're set. You're already on 4S. You already got a bunch of the batteries. You're ready to go. 4S is the way. A lot more battery options too with 4S. 4S is really popular for good reason. FizzPV says, I think you was talking about the Beta FPV digital system. Ah, right. Yeah. Sporny says, thanks, I'm in Europe, so I need to find a CNC shop who cuts the frames. Gotcha. Tommy New says, do you know anything about the BQE Little Homie? I do. I have one. I never ended up building it, but yeah, it's a little toothpick style carbon fiber frame. It's okay. The problem with it's going to be if you spend all this time building it and then you crash it and break one of the arms, you can't replace it. So take your oldest motors and shit that you're not going to ever fly again and put them on the Little Homie and then put it on your shelf. And you have a little slice of BQE history. UCanFPV says, I need a tuning session, LOL. Let me know. I would love to. Sporny says, I saw a new 2.5-inch 04 Pro frame from Germany, the RIN 25. Quite interesting, but 04 Pro only. RIN 25, eh? I'm intrigued. Huh. There we go. Just has CAD drawings, which is kind of annoying, but, whatever. Really small. That's going to be a really challenging build. It's also a tiny little top plate. You're not going to fit much battery on there. 04 Pro is going to be real heavy. Like, this is going to be... You're going to need at least a 2S 450, if not 2S 550, or even something 3S. Yeah, see, like, they've got 1404 motors on this. This is tough. I would want an 04 Pro build like this to be bigger, so I can put a bigger battery on top. But to each his or her own. There's very little motor protection, which is kind of rough. But yeah, looks all right. Just going to be tough to put a big battery on there. I think that's like the main thing that would give me a little bit of pause. I'm also, this whole put the camera in a giant chunk of TPU up front, I'm always a little bit weirded out by that. Like, you hit something good and hard, and that TPU is just going to fold over, and you're going to just hammer the shit out of this 04 Pro camera. And, 04 Pros are pretty expensive. So, as always, I really prefer to have cameras inside of standoffs in carbon fiber. That's the way we've been building frames forever, and for good reason. Having them just encased in TPU is scary. But I crash a lot. If that setup there, if you never crash it, you'll be fine. But you're never gonna crash it. You're always gonna crash it. Whether or not you crash it at full throttle like I do, that's a different story, right? But El Chingon says, how does the Baby Turtle frame compare to the Caillou Mini? I'm waiting on the Caillou Mini to come back in stock. May go with the Baby Turtle if it's comparable. Yeah, they look super comparable. I think the Caillou Mini is a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier duty, but the Baby Turtle frames are ready to go, and I've dug them. I've been really digging on them. So yeah, and they're cheap. So just snag one. Support, a couple different people. I've been hearing that the Caillou Mini is going to come back in stock for the last 2 years, and I've never seen it in stock. So, yeah. Tommy New says, I was going to use it as a brace. I forget what we were talking about. BMF Spade says, the Geno frames will fit the Flywoo wide-angle 04 air units. Very cool. So there is a frame available. That's good. Tommy New says, for the Meteor 65. Brace for the Meteor 65. Tell me more. I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Sporny says, the dude who made the Rin 25 put a 4S on top to rip it in his garage. Intrigued me. Sounds like a good pilot. You know what I mean when I say that? Has nothing to do with that build. Somebody that can fly something that powerful and heavy in their own garage, that's just a good pilot. Right? So, there's nothing about that build that's going to be any different. I mean, it's... Sure. That looks like a very lightweight 2.5-inch build, right? It's super shrunken down and whatnot, so that's going to make it a little bit lighter weight. But, that's got 5% to deal with it. Oh, the little homie. Okay, I got you. Don't do that. Don't use carbon fiber braces on plastic frames. You end up with a fractal engineering situation where you mangle lots of motors, you block a bunch more thrust, so you get worse efficiency, less power, less durability, right? Like all bad things. Don't use carbon fiber braces. Plastic frames are amazing. The fact that these frames bend when you smash into stuff saves the motors, saves the propellers. It's amazing. If we could run plastic frames like this on 5-inch rigs, it would be amazing. But plastic is not the right material once the size increases. For small builds, the fact that we can use injection molded plastic is best case scenario. The properties of plastic are awesome on a small build like this. There's so many advantages of it. Carbon fiber, you can't, look at it this way. You can't mold carbon, well, you kind of can, but it's really expensive to mold carbon fiber into a 3-dimensional shape like this. The fact that we can have these 3-dimensional shapes is absolute magic. So whenever you can, use that. Make sense? Kind of a weird way to think about it, but WeBleedFPV.com. CiottiFPV.com has a affiliate link over to WeBleed. Please hit that at some point before you check out, and I'll get a small percentage of your order total. I've got a bunch of stuff ready to go, so let's just start adding stuff to my cart. This is really quick. This is what I'm buying. You buy what you want, but I'm going to buy this stuff here. Happy Model Crown RHCP or LHCP antenna. 50 millimeters is just about perfect for a tiny whoop. Let me just think for a second what I'm going to use this for. So this is a circular polarized antenna. If you're running circular polarized antennas on your goggles, that is typically when you want to pair that with a circular polarized antenna on the quad itself. If you're running DJI goggles, they've got linear antennas in them. And so you will get a tiny little bit better performance running a circular polarized antenna on the quad, but it's not that much of a performance increase. And what I usually do is just run the whip antennas or the ORT Micro Vs. A non-circular polarized antenna, basically, is what I'll typically pair with DJI goggles that have the linear antennas in them. And so what we're talking about here is goggles 2, goggles Integra, and goggles 3. Those all have non-polarized linear antennas, patch antennas in the front, and then the little pop-up antennas on top. So you kind of might as well skip the circular polarized antenna for those setups. This crown antenna, for me, I'm going to be using, I think, on builds that are going to link up with my HD0 goggles. On my HD0 goggles, I have a circular polarized patch antenna up nice and high. And so that's going to be right-hand circular polarized. I think I'm only going to get one of these because I just want to see how it is initially. And so I think I'm going to get right-hand RHCP. Also, I think these crown antennas are significantly lighter than the TrueRC singularities, which is really what I'm interested in. It says 0.68 of a gram. I think even the short singularities are 1.1 grams. So that's mainly what I'm looking for here. So I think what I'm going to do is right-hand circular polarized because I want to use it with analog, and 30 millimeters. Because I think where this is going to end up is one of the little RC drift car chasing setups. And so I'm going to start with that, and we'll see how it is. I'm not going to put this on any like hardcore freestyle build because I'll probably just end up breaking it. And so yeah, we'll start with that. FireSense aerosol cheap small fire extinguisher. Absolutely love this idea. You don't have to get this little handle here, and I'm not gonna. 35 bucks. I'm gonna put it down here next to the fireplace, and you never know, could save the house from burning down. Highly recommend. You should not be leaving your batteries unattended anyway, but if a battery explodes and starts shooting fireballs out of it, that could catch shit on fire near it really quickly. And so having something like this could save the day. We've got a proper fire extinguisher upstairs under the sink, but I don't have anything in this actual basement, and time is of the essence when fireballs are being shot. Purple Air 65 V2 frame. I don't need to explain myself. Purple shit's cooler than not purple shit. GemFan 1207 propellers, possibly the best 1.2-inch propeller available right now. I'm going to get a bunch of these. So what do we got? Gray, blue, pink. Oh, the red is sold out. Damn it. So I'm going to get one set of the blue. Oh, come on now. And I'm going to get 2 sets of the gray. And then at some point when the red comes back in stock, I'll get a bunch of the red. Is there a picture of the red by chance? No. But I'm sure it's cool. The red is really what I want. But the gray will be fine. The other new propeller, GemFan 1614. This might actually be a really good propeller for this Walksnail 1S 1.6-inch build that is going to be going back up on my Etsy store very soon. So I'm going to snag a couple sets of these. I'm totally happy with the GemFan 1610s. These will probably be the right propeller if you have enough KV. If you don't have quite enough KV, this propeller could be God's gift to all things. So yeah, we're gonna get a set of the gray and what? There's 2 different shades of gray. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna get a set of the lighter gray. I don't like GemFan's pink. Somebody just said in the unanticipated Bell just said very correctly said in the chat, the pink isn't pink, it's a shitty salmon orange. Yeah, Gem. I wish Gem Fan would get rid of this pink. It's like it's exactly that. It's like a salmon color. It's very odd. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan. This is kind of cool how they have two different shades of gray. That's interesting. Mainly because I get to say shades of gray over and over again. I have run out of BT 3.0s, so I need a couple more of these. Runcam Nano 5. I'm kind of interested in this, although somebody on my Discord said that it's terrible. But, you know. Oh, wait, no, this is on tinywhoop.com. Sorry. It's the Bleed Eye. We're going to get the Bleed Eye. Well, all right, so those are the things that I left open tabs for. Now we're going to dive into WeBleed's site. And so when you get onto WeBleed's page, one of the things I love the most is that you can just go to all, and it puts everything that they sell in order of newest to oldest. I absolutely love when websites do this. I understand that some websites have 10,000 items and they can't really do this, but I love when smaller websites can do this. But actually, hold on. I always like to hit the clearance sections up first. Red thumb grippies are very cool. WeBleed gloves, that's pretty slick. Gate tape, this is just the really cool clear gel kind of double-sided tape. The electronic goop from Mass Adhesive, really cool stuff. $9.60 is a good deal. Don't get these propellers. These are old propellers that don't perform anywhere near as good. Bunch of shirts. This is CMYK's design. I absolutely love this design with the big long battery on the bottom here and the cool script. And the colors are just awesome. This green is great. This yellow is great. Not many sizes left. Small, extra large, 2X, 3X, 4X. Well, in yellow. Maybe there's more in green. Nope, same in green. Really cool shirt. Come on. There we go. Okay, yeah, just a bunch of shirts. Bunch of shirts and a couple little things. So, let's go to all. 0702, 40,000 kV with 1.5mm shafts. Very, very, very cool. The only thing that gives me pause is that right now there's only... So, 0702 is for 1.2-inch props only. 40,000 kV, you're going to want a lower pitch propeller, 1.5mm motor shaft. There's only really one propeller, which is the old school Gemfan 1210. It's okay, but it's not as good as the newer propellers that we've got. Hopefully, almost certainly, there are more 1.5mm motor shaft propellers coming. At that point, these motors will be absolutely awesome. But right now, today, you're locked into the Gemfan 1210, which WeBleed does sell, but I'm spoiled and I've moved on from that propeller. Beta FPV Air 2 canopy. Apparently this is pretty good. I have some coming in a box from Beta FPV, so I'm not going to buy any. 3D printed Whoop storage, Whoop prop storage box. This is awesome. I have the Tiny Whoop version, so I don't need it, but this is great to have. Get yourself one of these. Well worth it. Couple of different colors. It just slide it into your pocket, slide it into your bag, and you've got put like one full set of every single Tiny Whoop propeller that you run in here, and then you're good to go. You don't have to carry around like a stupid little Ziploc bag of propellers. This is awesome. Well worth $5.50. I don't understand this. Somebody understands it. I love that it says Certificate of Authentic Weirdness. Yeah, super weird. I don't get it, but it probably explains it here in the description. If you want some French wood, there you go. Get you some French wood. Here's the two props that we added. Here is the new HQ ultralight propeller. I've been flying prototypes of these for like almost a year. they're totally fine. They're 1.2 by 1 instead of 1.2 by 0.9. The 1.2 by 0.9 and these 1.2 by 1s feel exactly the same for me. They're not exactly the same, but 0.1 of a difference in pitch is not enough for me to notice in a freestyle setting. If the 1.2 by 0.9s don't have quite enough pitch for you, there you go. Nothing wrong with these. It's just that the 0.9s are completely fine for me. They're not really doing these in any different colors, it doesn't look like. But yeah, these are great. There's nothing wrong with these. The old school HQ ultralight props are 1.2 by 1.1. So HQ now has 0.9, 1.0, and 1.1. 0802 19,000s. The only people buying these are people doing underground WeBleed setups or 2S setups. But on a 2S setup, this 1mm motor shaft is going to be kind of tough. So 802 19,000s with the lighter weight bell. This is really cool that WeBleed is selling these now, both JST 1.0 and 1.25 Whoop motor replacement sets, 5 pieces each. If you're going to buy newbie drone motors and you want to run them on a regular AIO, this is going to be huge. If you're buying some other motors and you want to run them on a newbie drone AIO, this is going to be huge. Motorizers for the Mobula 7 V3 frame. If you're running a really short motor, you can lift it up so that the propeller swings in around the duct rather than below the duct itself. There's the Purple Air 2 frame. HD0 Echo antenna kit, pretty cool. HD0 Whoop V2 VTX. HD0 nerds will love this. E-ticket for race day. Nightwing 0702 motors. They're sold out of the higher KVs, but I'm sure these motors are pretty cool. Nightwing is a great dude. Come on! There we go. The red Cockroach Light AF frame. Very, very cool. I've moved away from the Light AF frame. I love the V3 frames. So I'm not going to... I'm super tempted to snag one of these, but I'm going to hold off. Am I? I could switch the... You know what? I will... See, the problem is I have a bunch of Light AF frames still that aren't broken. Once I run the Light AF frame on the Newbie Drone Race V2 that I don't fly very much. Eventually I'll break all those Light AF frames and then I will snag one of these for sure. Whoop Group shirt. Little tiny SMD resistor to put in line with some of their little LEDs. I don't go this deep into the LED thing, but if you do, my hat is off to you. Here they are. Little SMD 1206 pre-wired LED diodes. These are actually pretty cool. These are little inflatable tubes that have LEDs in them. Really cool. You know, you can uninflate them. They break down nice and small. Super lightweight. Very cool. I actually like these. I think this is a great idea. True RC D-pole. Get your D-pole on, friends. True RC makes great antennas. This is cool because it's a 90-degree angle, so there's probably a canopy or a build that this will be the perfect antenna for. Very, very similar to the ORT Micro V. I think it's a little heavier, though. There's no weight in here, but it looks like it's a little bit longer, and it's going to be a little tiny bit heavier. But very cool that it's a 90-degree angle, right? And so if you want that look for your antenna, great. It looks like it's 80 millimeters long. Nothing wrong with this. $8, good price. Get your D-pole on, my friends. I'm really tempted to buy one, actually, because I'm sure that I've got a build somewhere that this 90-degree antenna will drop perfectly in, but I've got about 1 million of these ORT Micro Vs because you bastards stopped ordering them. Whoop Group hoodie. That's fun. Here's that fire starter. Wait, no. Fire extinguisher. And the cool little spray trigger thing. I already have one of these triggers that I use for spray paint cans. You can get this little trigger thing from Home Depot. But don't. Get it from WeBleed if you want it. HD0 VTX antenna. HD0 HT cable. What the hell is this HT cable? What is this for? No idea. HD0 goggle, HD0 box pro. I have no clue. That's a this is like a this looks like an S video connector. What is this about? Video power and ground? Huh. I don't know what that's for. Is it maybe for the new goggles? Because I don't think my V1s have that S video plug anywhere on them. I'm gonna assume that the new goggles have that this little wacky S video plug on them, and then this is how you get video out, or maybe this is video in. Interesting. Come on. There's an HD0 audio video cable. Here's the HD0 programming cable. Very cool. Replacement lens for Nano V3 or Lux. This is actually pretty slick that they have this. This is the lens that's really easy to scratch. So having this replacement lens rules. Matrix 1S 4-in-1 flight controller. I don't think this is the brand new one that just is sort of coming out now. Oh, this is the 04 Lite AIO. This is a great AIO if you want to do 04 Lite 1S. It's kind of the only option, I believe. Although, no, it's not the only option anymore. Somebody else just came out with a 1S AIO that has a 3-amp back in it. But this is the one. Just get this one. It's $57. It's a known quantity. We know that it works. Oh. Meteor Series screw pack. Let's see what we got here. Which screws are those? 2S builds, 75mm frame. They don't look long enough for 2S builds, though. I don't know about that. I don't know what what these screws are really for. Come on, go back. There we go. Sticker pack by OgreFPV. That's pretty cool. Stickers. Look at that. Lots of stickers. I don't know why it says slap. Slap is what you do when someone uses the wrong word for stickers. You open your hand, you swing it. That's what slap means. These look like they're stickers. Let's confirm. Confirmed. They're stickers. It's alright being old. It's fine. Bleed eye! There we go. We're getting a bleed eye. We gotta check it out, man. We gotta compare it to all the other cameras. I've compared all the cameras. Why stop now? We're getting a bleed eye. You're getting a bleed eye. You're getting it. No, just me. I'm the only one that's getting a bleed eye. Can I please? Can we go back? Thank you. 45mm 1.8-inch propellers with the 1.5mm shaft. I have some of these in red. Where are the red ones? What? Is this a different one? Hold on. I'm pretty sure I got these in red. So WeBleed works with GemFan and HQ to get like proper blood red propellers, which is amazing. And so when you hear me talking about like red props, they're basically just WeBleed specific propellers. Tiny Who Hat, NX69 plug, just the plugs. You probably don't need to buy these though, because you get one of these with each 4-pack of the NX69 batteries. NX69 batteries, nothing wrong with them. Crazy G 473 sold out. Uriel's hooking a brother up. We're going to be able to check this thing out soon. There's that crown antenna. Hummingbird. So WeBleed got linked up with Newbie Drone and put all the Newbie Drone items on the WeBleed website, and so we're probably about to see the majority of the Newbie Drone catalog here, which is okay. This is this 30 by 30 3 to 8S ESC. Big boy, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch ESC, 80 amps, nuts, AM32. Maybe it's good. It's hard to tell, man. 5-inch components are just absolutely all over the place. Yeah, it's as always, like, by the time we get any actual info on a lot of this stuff, it's discontinued and they replace it with something else. I'll be honest though, this is really cool right here. The fact that they put ground and voltage pads on all four corners so that you could do this with capacitors, I really like that. The fact that this is an 80 amp ESC lends itself to big ass builds like this. So this is really cool. I really dig that they did this in the corners of this thing. That is slick. I think I've only seen one other ESC where they've done that. What I'm looking for is the FETs. Are they the big FETs? They're not. These are the smaller FETs. That's a little scary. See how there's like lots of room on the bottom of the AI. Like, yes, this is 30 by 30. I almost said AIO. It's an ESC. Yes, this is 30 by 30, so it's big. But I always am a little bit worried by these smaller FETs that get used. I always like to see ESCs have the bigger FETs, and when they have the bigger FETs, they're like crammed in there. So I don't know. This could be totally fine, or it could be a nightmare. It's just so hard, man. It's so hard with 5-inch parts. 80 amp is pretty gnarly though, and $60 is a pretty good deal too. I just saw that nowadays. $60 for a 30 by 30 ESC is cheap. Hummingbird race spec antenna. So this is just one of the ultra lightweight antennas. I have these on my Etsy store actually. So the fact that they're sold out, it's you're saved. Here's the Hummingbird 200 stack. Oh, I thought this was maybe that same ESC, but it's not. This is a 20 by 20 stack. No idea if it's good or not. By the time we know, it may be discontinued. Could be good. Hard to tell. Kind of impossible to tell. Hummingbird Type-C USB adapter board t-shirt. No. USB adapter board. What would this be? Oh. Yeah, this is the Hummingbird Race V2 has this silly little board that you have to use to plug in USB. It comes with it, but if you lose it, here you go. Very cool. That is something that you could absolutely very easily lose. It's this little thing. USB-C and then pins. There's just pins on the Hummingbird Race V2 AIO. You drop this into the pins on the board, and now you've got your USB. Kind of brilliant, because they're saving a bunch of weight and complexity and thickness on the board. Kind of annoying when you have to use it. But you don't have to use it much, right? Like, you plug USB into a tiny whoop once or twice, and then maybe never again. So, kind of slick, but admittedly kind of annoying. This is the TPU Hummingbird Race camera mount. I don't like it. Hummingbird 200 20 by 20 flight controller. $50. It's a bit much. Wait, what? Built-in ELRS. That's pretty cool. Okay. $50 ain't bad if it's got built-in ELRS. That's pretty slick. I like that, actually. And then here's the 20 by 20 ESC. Denzel Terrible says that's not gray, it's smoke crotch gray. Sorry, missed opportunity. Malik says I'm wanting to dabble with an HD video system. Any recommendations? Been looking at Walksnail. Walksnail is totally fine. 04 is insanely good, but a pain in the ass to get your hands on. HD 0, in my opinion, is not really an HD system. It's analog 2.0. And that's about it. There's nothing wrong with Walksnail whatsoever. You can get it all over the place. There's a bunch of different options. They'll never be able to compete with DJI. DJI has 100 times the budget that Walksnail Caddx ever will. Walksnail is based around the first generation of DJI stuff, the Vistas. And that's a good thing because the Vistas were great. And so the regular Walksnail stuff is pretty goddamn good. And so, yeah, nothing wrong with Walksnail. I did a live stream like a month or two ago titled like Walksnail is still really good. And it is. It absolutely is. And it might be our only option soon. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. So yeah, there you go. Unanticipated Bill says they call it Macho Pink for some other props I have, I think. Cringe AF. As Gallarda, make sure that you type CiottiFPV. Make sure you type at CiottiFPV. Right here. Right here. Escalardo says, what do you think of NX69? It's great. I wish that it had come out sooner. But it's great. It's totally fine. You can plug it in backwards. You can also plug BT 2.0 in backwards. So you got to be a little bit careful. It's every bit as good as all of the other BT 2.0 batteries. On the 12-hour stream, we did some testing, and we found out that the Lava V2s are a little bit better than all of the other folded cell BT 2.0 batteries. So, on one hand, you should get these. On the other hand, it's not a big difference. So, like, if you're buying a newbie drone Tiny Whoop, it's going to come with NX69. Just go for it. If you're buying any other Tiny Whoop or building yourself, there's not a whole lot of reason to go NX69. You might as well go Lava V2 with BT 2.0. You're going to have way more battery options, but the Lava V2s work a little. You get a little bit more voltage out of them. Not voltage. You get a little bit less sag out of them, and a little bit better runtime out of them. So, like, you might as well go that route. But nothing wrong with NX69. If you buy a newbie drone Tiny Whoop and it comes with NX69, don't change it. Like, just leave it on NX69 and just go for it. Like, it's absolutely fine. Does that make sense? Uriel says, GemFan 1219 S's are coming to you. Very cool. I'll blow through a ton of them. I've heard they're good, so I'm still going to snag some here. Denzel the Terrible says, if you want or need red thumb grippies, get them soon. I don't think Thumb Grippies is a company anymore. They're not. Yeah, those will be going away. I have some of them. I have a couple sets. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I like the metal. Thumbsticks. They match the metal jib jabs. It's all about looks. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with thumb grippies. I actually kind of like them a lot. FizzPV says, did you ship the ORT I ordered on the 12 stream? Maybe? I do need to get caught. I do have a couple Etsy orders that are still sitting, so maybe not. But I'm getting caught up, I promise. I'll be caught up soon. Sooner than later. I swear. Yuke says, the 4-in-1 is for analog. I'm literally trying to get it to work right now. LOL. I wonder what we were talking about at 8:34. BMF Spade says, have to watch Chris Rosser's video on the newbie drone ESCs. I haven't seen a video from him. Did he do a video on that ESC? It's a fairly new ESC. Did I miss it? I don't see it. No, I'm not seeing it. Why am I not? Why is? I have not seen any of these. Oh, look at this.
Hi there, everyone,
I've not seen any
and
of
welcome
these
back to the channel.
thumbnails.
In today's video,
man, I'm so tired of YouTube not putting things that I want to watch that I'm subscribed to in front of me. What the hell? Is it good? Just tell me, is it good? Yes or no? Conclusions. Maybe it's good. You guys tell me. I trust you. More Hummingbird Stacks, 305. Here's the 30 by 31. Okay. Tell me if it's good. Moss1, Happy New Year to you as well. Yeah, hey, Happy New Year, friends. I forgot. Jens Consumer says, is there any AIO recommended for a 3S Micro 04 build? I found some old stock Happy Model Super F405. Is that any good? Happy Model electronics are really good. I have not dove into 3S though, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's Happy Model electronics are staggeringly good, especially for their price. So it's a good option to just kind of stick with their stuff at the moment. Tune RC has the Poly F405 that's 2S to 4S. That is also a really good option. The only thing is there's no ELRS on board. So you got to run an external ELRS receiver. That is the AIO that I put into my HD version of the V2 version of my prototype frame here. So I'll have some feedback for you sooner than later on the Poly F405, although it's been around a long time and everybody says it's awesome, so yeah, it's a good bet. But what I would love to find is a 3S AIO with Express LRS on board. That would be cool. Maybe that Happy Model board is exactly that. I just haven't looked into it. I haven't been paying any attention to 3S since like 7 years ago, believe it or not. I don't have any 3S batteries left. But I will be at some point as I dive more into like these 2-inch, 2.5-inch kind of little guys. At some point here, I'll dip my toe into 3S and I'll learn some shit. BI V2 camera. This is the lighter one. This is the camera that comes with the Race V2. I actually like this camera a lot. Nothing wrong with this camera at all. A little bit lighter, a little bit smaller backboard here. I don't necessarily see a difference between this and the BI V1 camera. I have a feeling that they use the same lens and the same sensor. They just shrunk down the PCB here in the back to make it a little bit lighter. 1.7 grams. Boy, that's light. That's impressive. Yeah, great little camera. These newbie drone gates are smaller and more challenging. These newbie drone squares, I love that there's 5 of them. That is this. Really cool to be able to hang a cube from your ceiling like this. Absolutely love it. All you need is a couple little pieces of Velcro in the corners there. This is cool. But be warned, the newbie drone gates are smaller than all of the other gates, and so they're going to be more challenging to get through them. So they're my least favorite gates to try to go through upside down and backwards is what I'll say. But really good practice, you know. First and foremost, a shirt. What's the inside joke behind this, I wonder? Born live on stream, Borg Slayer. Interesting. An inside joke that I was not on the inside of. Beta FPV Screw Pack 2025. Tell me this is the screw pack with those M1.2 by... Nope, it's not. This is a weird screw pack. But it does have a bunch of rubber grommets. That's pretty cool. These are motor screws here, M1.4x4. Interesting little screw pack. 5S 1550 mAh battery. That's very specific. Newbie drone UFL, but I think this is the small UFL. This is actually kind of nice. These are 2.4 antennas, but these are the itty bitty UFL pads. I think sometimes they're called IPEX. No, MHF4. So yeah, this is the connector that Newbie Drone uses on their AIOs. On the TuneRC AIO? No. Not TuneRC. On the Flywoo AIO that has ELRS built in, they don't use this plug. So this plug is very specific for Newbie Drone AIOs. For ELRS, 2.4 gig. I actually really like this battery. It's a shame that it's sold out, but this is a great little barrel plug battery. It's 3S. This is my favorite battery for plugging into the gangly fan. This is actually really, really, really nice. If you are not a pro at soldering, you should get this and fill the whole goddamn thing up. $5 is well worth it. This is great practice. Great practice. More 5S batteries. Why does WeBleed have so many 5S batteries? I'm sure there's a good reason for it. 2S 350 mAh battery. The only pain in the ass about this battery is that it's pH 2.0. So you'll have to kind of cut that off and replace it with XT30, or you could set this up as a BT 3.0, but yeah. More 5S batteries. More Hummingbird 255. Oh, this is an AIO. That's interesting. Big ass 50 amp AIO. I don't really recommend it when you've got like this much space for this big and this high amperage. In my opinion, you want a separate flight controller and a separate ESC, but you do you. This has the biggest JST plug I've ever seen, which is kind of fun. Joshua's smart power cable. If you can stand having a battery in your pocket and another wire going up to your goggles, this is great. I personally can't. Newbie Drone 802 14,000 kV motors. Unfortunately, they're only a 1mm motor shaft, so yeah, I'm not really into it. 4S 1550. This is a good battery for a Cinewoop. 3S 2500 for X9D and Futaba radios. Interesting. Good thing that these are sold out because they're no good. These ring magnet motors are not what you want. So yeah, I mean, we are in Newbie Drone. We are going through like Newbie Drone's entire catalog at this point. So let me try to get past this because this is not WeBleed stuff, right? This is... There's lots of good stuff in here, but, you know, we'll do this another time. We'll go through Newbie Drone's website another time. Although, actually, Newbie Drone's website is so big that you can't go through the whole website. But there is lots of good stuff on Newbie Drone's website, in fairness. And I have gone through their whole website before. It's great. They got lots of cool, weird shit, like these little... where are they? Like these M2 standoffs. These M2 standoffs are hard to find. M2 flanged lock nut. These are also hard to find. See, this is I know that I need some of this stuff. This is why I haven't done this order yet, because I know there's a bunch of random weird little stuff. So like, for example, right? M2 15 millimeter standoffs you can use on these baby turtle builds, and I don't think I have any of these 15 millimeter ones. So real quick, I'm gonna snag a couple of these because the baby turtles just come with black standoffs, and we can't have that. So let's real quick just take a look here. Looks like these are all in stock. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna go purple. What is it? A set of 5? Is that what the deal is? Set of 5, right? Yeah, 5 of them. So we're gonna do a set of purple. I hope this doesn't drop ship. I hope this is probably gonna drop ship. Dark red, we'll do one of those. Like, I hope there's not gonna be a separate box that comes from Newbie Drone with just 10 of these standoffs. That's what I'll do. I'll do the purples and the reds. Yeah. Do I need any other? If you wanted to make your baby turtle a little bit taller, if you couldn't slam everything under the stack, here you go. 20 millimeter. Go for it. M3 standoffs as well. These are really nice. These little tiny spacers. Little, like, what are they, 2 millimeters? Yeah, 2 millimeter spacers. There's also 5 millimeter. But these are M3. I actually really need some more of these in M2. But I don't see them on here. Nope, there they are. Wait, no, actually I thought that I needed more of these, but then I found a little stash of them, didn't I? Hold on, let me look. 2 millimeter. Let me see super quick, like. I have a bunch of the 5 millimeters. Yeah, now I got a bunch of the 2 mils. Yeah, I must have stocked up. Every time I order from Newbie Drone, I grab some of them. But yeah, I don't have any of the 15s, I don't think. What is this though? Hold on. Let me just make sure this ain't 15. Sorry to anybody wearing headphones, you're now dead. What the hell? Do I really have a 15 sitting right here? Nope, that's a 20. I have some 20s and I have some 25s, but I don't have any M2 15s. So that'll be cool. I can pimp out the baby turtles a little bit more. Colored standoffs, yo. If your standoffs are just black, what are you doing? You're better than that. They should also have 5 millimeter. They used to also have 5 millimeter. But yeah, these are great, man. Little 2 millimeter spacers. These are perfect for spacing out your stack or putting against your bottom plate so that your stack mounting screws are nice and solid. These are awesome. These little 2 millimeter M2s, these are great. And they're in super fun colors. Yeah, lots of good stuff on Newbie Drone's website, that's for sure. But I was wanting to tear through WeBleed's website. Man, I got all tied down and stuff, and now it's 9 o'clock already. Damn it. Here we go. This is pretty cool. A little dock for your Toothster or Whoopster V3. Here we go. Okay, so we're back to WeBleed stuff. Air 65 V2. There's the Air 65 V2 in red. Hat and a shirt. Awesome. Here we go. Gem fan gate with reflective on the outside. Very cool. This is the medium-sized gates. These are great. I really like this size. This is kind of my favorite size. The WeBleed gates are even bigger than this. And so this is kind of the medium size. It's a cube. This is great. You guys, I have a whole bunch of these. You've seen them a million times. Yeah, love this sized gate. And the fact that it's a cube is awesome. You can unzip each side of the cube and it's actually turns into 4 gates. Really, really, really nice. Gemfan 35mm S. These props are not balanced. Don't get them. The grappler is back in stock, which is pretty cool. This is kind of like my second favorite prop puller, I think. WeBleed's lipo safety bag, really nice to have. If you don't have some of these, definitely get some. Here are the GemFan 35mm S biblades. I wish that there was this is a 1.4 inch prop. I wish that there was a 1.5mm motor shaft version of this. The VCI motors, I don't know if this is the V2 or the older ones. Tree toppers, fantastic 802 for 1S on 1.6 inch props. My second favorite motor for 1S 1.6 inch whoop builds. I'm staying away from these air and matrix flight controllers at the moment rather. Meter 75. Some Flywoo lightweight antennas. Nothing wrong with these. Just simple little whip antennas. What else do we have here? Runcam Nano 7. I had one of these. It's totally fine. Unfortunately, it did break, but yeah, this is very. This is the same thing as the FXT camera that came with the Mobile 6 2024. Mobile 7 V4 frame, great 1.6 inch frame. 0802, bells only. Love this. Absolutely love this. 1.5mm motor shaft, green 0802 bells. Great for your 2S 0802 builds. HD0 has some new electronics that are all apparently really, really good. This is one of the slightly older ones, but it's awesome that there's ELRS on board. Here we go. Here's the other propeller that I wanted to check out. So, what's happening here? HQ 45mm by 3. HQ, 40mm. Got it. Got it. Okay. I see. Wait, no, here we go. Oh, no. Yeah, 45mm. This is 1.8 inch. I'm sorry. We know this propeller. We're fine. This is what I thought it was. I thought it was a 1.4 inch prop. HQ makes an ultralight now tri-blade. I wish they made a bi-blade of this, but you can get this in 1.5mm motor shaft, which is pretty cool, which makes 1.4 inch builds a lot more realistic. The old air canopy, don't get that. Caddx Ant Nano, not a fan. 1mm shaft. Okay, yeah, another one. These are both 1.6 inch props, but 1.5mm shaft, 1mm shaft. The 1.2 inch bi-blades, these are really fun. And the red ORT Micro Vs in 35 millimeters or 50 millimeters. I ran out of these, but I have these in 46 millimeters. So if you're desperate for one, you can get one 4 millimeters longer. Nothing wrong with that. TBS Lucid 1 to 2S flight controller. Who cares? Bunch of apparel. Here we go. Here's the other awesome item on here that I wanted to make sure that we got to. 0702 replacement bells with a 1.5mm motor shaft up above the bell. Once we have some good props, these bells will be awesome. You can drop them onto all of your Happy Model WeBleed Tiny Whoop 0702s and get that thicker bell that basically on a 1.2 inch whoop will never bend, which is awesome. Screamers 0702 32,500 kV screamer motors. These are my favorite all-around 0702s. You can get them in 1.5mm motor shaft or 1mm, which is great. I think this is specific to the 1.5s. Beanie HD0 Eco camera. I don't like this camera. It makes reds into like a weird magenta pink insanity. It's a very strange propeller. HD0 Lux is the much better looking one. AIO5, I didn't have great luck with mine, but it's not that bad. It's okay. It just gets really, really hot, and it's kind of expensive at $130. HQ Ultralight 31mm low pitch. This is the 1.2 by 0.9 propeller that I love. And they do have it in the WeBleed red. They don't have a picture of the red, but you can get this in like a really blood red. It's really cool. Oh shit, I think I just ran out of those too. I did. Oh, I'm a genius person. 2 sets of those. Yes. Look at me. I remembered. My God. These are my go-to props, man. They make plenty of power on high KV motors, and they're just great. Not super durable, but just barely durable enough. Just barely. Full build, sold out. Here are the WeBleed batteries. These are some of my favorite 300 mAh BT 2.0 batteries. No reason not to snag a set while you're on here doing an order. But I've got batteries coming out of my ears. Here's the WeBleed modular gate cube system. Again, these are bigger, which if, you know, you want to get through gates more often without hitting the gates, here you go. And they're also really well made. The material that these are made out of is just, like, amazing. So, yeah. Great gate. And here you go. Here are the only 1.5mm motor shaft, 1.2-inch propellers, Gemfan 1210 bi-blades. Totally acceptable prop. They were the best Tiny Whoop prop for like years until the new HQ Ultralights came out. Cool little storage box here. CO3, another really good thing that WeBleed sells. The best analog camera for Tiny Whoops. Don't buy this VTX. This VTX sucks. I've had so many of those fail on me. It's maddening. Little tiny ultra lightweight antenna. This is a really cool item that they sell. These are these grommets are the tallest I've ever found on one side, and then they're normal on the other side. You need to have 1 or 2 sets of these grommets floating around. They're great. And then these are M1.4 by 12? 10. M1.3, no shit, M1.3 by 10. These rubber grommets, so you need to have a set or 2 of these around. They are ever so slightly thicker on one side than all of the other grommets like that. There are frames that are better than this, but this frame's okay. I actually really like this Mobula 6 2024 G-string banana hammock mount, but you have to run it with the cameras that have the holes in the corners, like the FXT, but the FXT has been replaced by the Runcam Nano 7. There's also the Runcam Nano 3. There's a bunch of cameras that have these screws in the corners. This canopy has slots for those screws, so you never have to worry about your camera rotating or anything like that. You screw it in, it's level, good to go. Super X is sold out. Mobula 6 2024 V2. One of my favorites right here. I think we've hit the majority of like the really, really good WeBleed items that I wanted to hit on this live stream. I can't believe that we only got 8 pages in. You know what? It only goes up to 12. We're gonna lightning round through the rest of the website so that we can say that we did the whole website. Light AF racing frame. It's okay. Super light. That's for sure. They break. Here are the regular 0702 40,000 kV motors with 1mm motor shaft. Here's the Goop V2. 1219S. These are the really pitchy, well-balanced 1.2-inch props. 40mm, which is what? What's 40mm? Is that 1.6-inch? God, yeah, 1.6-inch bi-blades. These are okay. A little fragile. I prefer the Gemfan 1610s. Here are the 1.2-inch high-pitch propellers. These are 1.1 pitch. So these are the HQ Ultralight, more pitchy 1.2-inch props. BT 2.0 180-degree plugs. Crown frame. Great colors on the crown frame. WeBleed Band-Aids in an awesome little tin case that fits batteries perfectly. This is how I love carrying my 300 mAh batteries. A couple of these little tins. Here we go. Here's my favorite frame. Newbie Drone Cockroach 65 V3. This is the frame that I think you should be running for all of your indoor tiny whoops, especially for freestyle. This is also the frame that has the little hooks on it for my Batwing mount so that you can front mount a camera and have no props in view, have like an ultra cool little cinematic. This is what I use to chase the RC drift cars. And it relies on this frame. Best frame for a 1.2-inch freestyle tiny whoop, in my opinion. Some LED stuff. Don't buy this. Don't buy this. This is great. This is a BT 3.0 battery checker and charger all in one. This is actually awesome. BT 3.0 stuff. Good to have. These are actually really nice to have. It allows you to hook up two BT 2.0 batteries so that you can have 2S without having to change batteries. Really, really slick. Whoopster 3 in red is really cool. What else? I'm just giving you the highlights now. And I'm going to miss some stuff here. But I'm looking for the highlights. Love this purple, but man, is this a heavy-ass canopy. Can't really recommend it. Here you go. Here are the 1610s. These are my favorite. What? In red? No. What? I didn't know these existed. I'm running these like an asshole in blue. What? I'm getting 3 packs of these, yo. 1610, 1.5mm motor shaft. I did not know that these existed. It has always bugged the living shit out of me that I've had to own. I have a couple of these in this gray. It's really hard to find these in gray. They're pretty much in blue, and it's okay. The blue is okay, but this red is way better. I didn't know that those existed. I'll be damned. Just making sure that they really do exist. Look at that. Holy hell. Okay. Switching over to all red. These GemFan 1610s are my favorite of the 1.6-inch tiny whoop props. They're very well balanced. They're very durable is what I love the most about them. Don't get these. These are both out of balance. These peak screws are, yeah, you can save a little bit of weight, but all these plastic screws end up breaking, and then they drive me crazy trying to get them out, so I just skip them. Metal screws are fine. It's not that much of a weight savings. This is another very cool little lipo storage case. I like the little tin thing because it's obviously a little Band-Aid holder. Oh, nice. See, this is why you go through whole websites. I just ran out. I need one more of these. Amazing. Stuff. There's nothing better than spending like 4 or 5 hours clicking every single item on one of these websites. Or is that just me? Might just be me. XT30 male to XT60 female or vice versa. These are always really nice to have. Make sure you have some of these. Some more gates. This is the little LED cube that I have over there that WeBleed very kindly sent me. Some stickers, some shirts, some jerseys. Cool stuff. I love these little gate clips. A lot of my gates are hanging from the ceiling by these little guys. Really, really, really nice. Here's the WeBleed. Oh, no, this is pH 2.0. We don't need that. His hot sauce is awesome. Grab some of his hot sauce, always. Really, really good. Not super hot. Nice and sweet. Good actual flavor. Won't light your face on fire, which is good because, you know, it's not a contest. These are the little Velcro things that I use in the corners of the Newbie Drone gates. It's just a little Velcro. Ultra short singularity. Very cool to have another source for those. True RC stubby singularity. It's two of the best antennas in the business. I hope you guys appreciate this. I am so hungry. This isn't for you. This is for me. The BI camera, the old school BI camera with the bigger board on the back. This is as much for you as it is for me just wanting to be a completionist and get to the end of the website. But I'm dying to end this live stream and go get a snack. My metabolism is so nuts that, like, during the course of a 2-hour live stream, even if I eat right before it, I'm just dying by the end of the stream. The WeBleed fat strap is pretty awesome, to be completely honest with you. And if they have the version for the goggles too, I might actually snag it. But last time I looked, they didn't. Hold on, they explain it here. It needs, yeah, no buckle. The goggles too have an itty bitty little hole to pass the strap through. I think this is the one that I need. I think it's the no buckle Dominator Sky Zone analog. So do they have that? I don't want that one. I want the WeBleed one. Avatar. I think this is it. DJI V1, V2, Walksnail Avatar HD. I think this is the one. DJI 2. What's this, though? What's the difference? Does DJI 2 mean goggles too? I think this might be the one. Oh, balls. I don't know. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to get a fat straps one. Oh, you know what? That's right. You know, I got one of these because it's the base color is white. For these, and it looks awesome. But for my goggles too, those are going to be some of the main goggles that I use and get all sweaty and disgusting. I'm going to get a black strap for those because getting a white strap like this, it'll become a yellow strap very quickly. So that's right. I already got the WeBleed goggle strap that I wanted. Yo, here's another really nice set. So here is where you can get the 3 different thicknesses of rubber grommet. So this is great. This is well worth $13. There's a shitload of grommets in here. This will last you forever. So this is an excellent little item from Beta FPV, as is this little tiny BT 2.0 voltage checker and charger. Beautiful little travel charger here. Charges 2 at a time, and then if there's no USB plugged into it, it's a little battery checker. Yeah, this is a must-have here. Again, skipping lots of stuff because we're just doing the highlights here just to get to the end. What is this? Hold on. This is a little tweezer set that I just saw. Wait. Go back a page to 11. What was that? Where's it at? It's pretty in blue. Oh, that's too many. You don't need that many different tweezers. You need 2 tweezers. You need straight and you need angled. That's it. This is too many. All right, last page. Don't buy circular polarized filters. They don't work as soon as you start to roll. Just get regular ND filters. That's a pretty cool looking little mug there. Ooh, the cloth tape. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize they had that. Racing gate stand. That's kind of interesting. 2808 motor. Look at that. What's the mounting pattern? Tell me this isn't 16 by 16 mounting pattern. Nah, I can tell. That's the bigger mounting pattern. 19 by 19. That's okay. BT antenna. This is actually kind of cool, but the problem is it's an itty bitty little plug. This is a Newbie Drone specific plug. This isn't the regular UFL plug. So this is really only for, yeah, MHF3 connector. So it's only really going to work on Newbie Drone AIOs. but little tiny Immortal T 2.4 gig for ELRS. Newbie Drones foam is always an absolute jam. So yeah, their foam, I always use their foam, and it's always just perfect. And then this is the 03 naked conversion kit that I used on the Grinderino. And there you go. The entire website. The entire WeBleed website. And I can now put this order in because I found all the things that I was missing. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to put this order in. 18 items total. Look at me go. Dude, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I got to the end of the website because I knew there would be like the E6000 and like those 1610 props in red. I'm super excited about those. And then the red 1.2 by 0.9s as well. That's another big win for me. Cool. Go through websites top to bottom, friends. It's also a great way to learn. You'll just learn all kinds of cool shit going through a website top to bottom, reading the descriptions, because reasons. Thanks for hanging. Wait, no, hold on. Moss1 says, what did you think of Newbie Drone's Lion Bee, their 3-inch? It's all right. It looks a little weak to me. The arms look a little bit weak, which kind of scares me. I'm going to hit my own WeBleed affiliate link real quick here. And clicking the checkout button. FizzPV with the last comment of the live stream. He says, the Sky Zone is the no buckle. Thank you, dude. I'll see you guys on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. CiottiFPV.com to support me. It's the only way I can keep doing these full time. And yeah, see you Sunday. Have an excellent rest of your Friday night and Saturday, my friends. Here's a little bit more. Nope. Here is the 7-inch build on. Where'd it go? Here's the 7-inch build on HQ 7 by 5.5 bi-blades. What? How you gonna not rate what the propeller is on the propeller, you donkeys? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's really stupid. I'm 99.9% sure that these are HQ 7 by 5.5 propellers. I'm super annoyed that they don't write that on there because when you have a lot of different propellers, eventually they're going to get mixed up and you rely on them saying what they are on the inside of the blade. But yeah, here you go. Crazy pitchy, crazy fast 7-inch bi-blades. Love you, bye! See you Sunday.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile.
Teddy's on pause, side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch, scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Ciotti behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy's spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy's spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, rolling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPVs, fur-faced legends, legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy's spaghetti and CiottiFPV.